Greetings, everybody. Glad to have you with us today. We're going to talk about something pretty serious. A week or so ago, most of you have heard by now about the fall of Damascus, and we're going to discuss that today. Doc is pretty up on this stuff. He's more into this than I am. I'm just a youngin' compared to him on this Isaiah 17 stuff. But let me read just verse 1, and I know you got some you'll want to read later, Doc, but it says here in Isaiah 17, verse 1, the burden of Damascus, and we know that's Syria. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. Now, it isn't there yet, but the leader
it won't take much for it to happen.
Assad has ran for his life. I don't know where he is.
He's in Russia.
Is he in Russia?
He's in Russia, and
probably a good place for him.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him.
But the Assad family ruled like tyrants for 50 years.
Yeah.
And just like often, whenever the people get somebody to set them free, don't realize that they probably end up in greater oppression than they were before.
So how does this happen, Doc? I mean, he controls the army. He controls the financial system.
Well, since 2014, they've been in
That's
the war.
true.
Yeah, they had 6 years, I believe it was, of civil war, and then kind of quelled down. And what happened is the rebels just kind of regrouped and put together a new plan. And in 10 days, from the time they rose up, in 10 days, they conquered the 4 biggest cities and took Damascus. It's almost unheard of.
Does some of the military turn on him
yes.
too? Okay.
A lot of the military didn't even oppose them.
Yeah. That'll do it.
There are a lot of reasons.
If you don't control your own military, you're doomed.
Yes. So, but prophetically, as you just read, and this is not the only place that you find this burden or this pronouncement of judgment on Damascus. You'll find it also in Jeremiah 49 and chapter 19 of Isaiah. You're going to find there's a time coming when Damascus, which is the capital of Syria, is going to be a ruinous heap.
Well, that's what I'm getting ready to ask you next. It's still a city right now?
It's still a city.
So this isn't fulfilled yet. Now, this could be the beginnings of it.
I think it's the beginnings of it.
Are you looking for possibly a nuke in the future?
It's very possible.
That would ruin it.
It's very possible. Here's the thing. As soon as this happened, and I think most of our watchers and listeners know, as soon as this happened, and as soon as they saw Assad leave on Saturday night, their time, Israel bombed the edge of Damascus and destroyed one of the chemical factories that was making the chemical weapons. And I won't be surprised if they haven't already done the same in some of those others. Because one of the great fears is the people that took over now they're bloodthirsty hardcore Islamists.
And they don't have the political restraints that Assad had. As terrible a man as he was, he had to
he still had
listen
some
to
restraint,
leaders.
or he would have used it on them.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that you need to see, and I don't think many people understand. The people that took over are Sunni in their sect of Islam.
And I know there's two
major, there's
there.
4 altogether, but there's 2 main ones. The Sunni is the largest of all of those, out of Saudi Arabia primarily. And then the Shiites.
Shiites, that's the other one.
And so Iran is a Shiite. The Alawites is the ones that was the Assad bunch. And the Shiites and the Alawites are closer to related. All of this goes way back to whenever Muhammad died and the cousins and all that took place in the divisions there. So what happened is the Shiite-backed Alawites, Iran backing Syria, was displaced by the Sunni branch, who want a more fundamental hardcore stand of Islam. And so the people who think they saw themselves to get relief, I think they're going to realize that we really didn't get any real relief. And what I think is going to happen, Dan, is Russia has got too much involved right now already in Syria, in the geographic area of Syria. They've got military bases. They've got their seaport base there, all of this. Iran, I think what happened, the Sunni bunch saw the opportunity that Israel has basically made Iran almost helpless with their defense system being taken out. Israel has taken all of the ring of fire that Iran had put around Israel and has decimated. At best, Hezbollah has only 30% of their fighting force left. Just a few months ago, everybody said Hezbollah can rain down 100,000 rockets a week on them, just destroy Israel. Didn't happen because Israel took it all out. So they saw that Iran has lost all of this, and they saw it as an opportunity of the weakness to attack.
So tell me about Russia. You may not know the answer, but Russia is in fact, they're kind of against Allah. I mean, they're real careful about letting Muslims get control in their country. What's the connection here? Is it because Russia and Syria like each other, or is it a political thing?
It's all a political thing.
Russia is against their enemies, which helps.
Yes.
So you're excited.
The enemy of my enemy,
right?
The
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, and so that's basically it. Iran used Syria as their transportation of being able to get the military stuff to Hezbollah. That's why they were using Syria. Russia saw it as a way to have a southern seaport, and to do that, they were going to be involved in all
as
this.
As well as a launching point when the day comes to go take that mountain.
And here's another thing. Turkey on the north, which has the largest military in all of that area, Turkey on the north is a supporter of the Sunni band against Syria. And so, yet Turkey, we know in Ezekiel 38 is going to combine with all these people. All of it is a political thing, each one thinking they're going to get what they want. And I think all that Russia is going to want out of it is the spoils. Ezekiel 38, I think, makes that clear, that Russia is coming for the spoils.
Yeah, it's too
the
warm
natural
in Israel
gas
for them Russians.
Yeah, it's natural gas and the oil to give them dominance over Europe once again. That's their thought. I'm confident. But what's happened is the Ukraine thing has caused the bond between Iran and Russia to tighten, as Iran has provided billions of dollars worth of drones for Russia to use against Ukraine. And I believe that we're going to see, maybe even before January 20, I think you're going to see the Russia and Ukraine thing solved.
Yeah, and I know you want to talk about that, but real quickly, a ruinous city, it's taken away from being a city. That sounds like a nuke to me. Who's the one country in the world that's going to want to do this? I think it's Israel, not Russia.
It's very possible. The only way it could well be. Israel has the ability to do that.
Sure.
And it could be used, it depends. What's right now is a volatile situation. Some say, well, this is an opportunity, and others say, man, this is a great possible
It could also
problem.
be somebody else, but blaming it on Israel to bring a conflict.
Could well be. We're living in such an age that right now we're speculating in these kind of things, but we do know there's a time coming it's going to become a ruinous. Now, other prophecies speaking of this nature tells us that Damascus will be a time where animals will be there, but we know that up in Ukraine where Chernobyl was destroyed, Right now, that city, even though it's still in ruins, you're not supposed to go in there. The wildlife is flourishing everywhere. And so it could be.
Yeah.
Of course, there are bombs today that we have that can destroy not the infrastructure, but the people. But this is going to be something that destroys, obviously, the entire city.
You get the idea when you read this. This isn't just the taking of the city and killing people. This seems to be the city's no more.
What it looks like is this is creating a situation where somebody, whether it's Israel, because these people that have taken over, no doubt would love to destroy Israel. All of the Islamic people, Dan, would like to be the one that says, of all our Islamic faith, we're the ones that done it.
Yeah.
And so it may require, and it could be that because of all of this, the only way to get rid of them is for Russia or somebody of that nature to do that. And I wouldn't be surprised they would blame it on Israel.
Yeah.
But it's a time coming, and we're seeing, I believe, the stage set where the turbulence politically is in such a nature that somebody could pull that trigger.
So under whose authority? Because you always hear Russia's in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
We're there to some
We're
degree.
there. We're up there by the, next to Turkey on the east side of Syria.
Yeah.
We're up there.
Who has authorized
with the Kurds?
all of that? I guess because of the civil war, there's really not much leadership in Syria. And
Well,
so
there's
people just coming in.
Yes.
And
Syria has been dependent. Assad's been dependent upon Russia and Iran to stay in power, because
and we know why Iran wants them. They border Israel.
Iran wants that so that they can be the one out of Islam to say, this, we done it.
Yeah, but I mean they're right on the border. They can get to Israel through
Right there.
Syria.
Yeah.
More so than they can from
Absolutely.
these other countries. They don't have to fly over anybody.
I read an article and I thought it was interesting. The three guys that led this revolt, back when they were just teenagers, they had written graffiti on the wall. And the Assad regime brought them in, and Bashar Assad's brother interrogated them, 10 years old and 14-year-old boys. They pulled their fingernails out, tortured them, and all these years later, they led what you saw in 10 days, and they got their revenge.
Yeah. All right. Well, Doc, see your Christmas DVDs $39.95 are on the website. Go to Protestant Spotlight. You'll see it right there. There's still time to get that before Christmas. It'd be a great encouragement to people. The Truths of Christmas. And if you're watching YouTube, you can see it on the screen. If you're on the radio, you'll just have to go to the website or call us, one or the other. You can get the information at the closing credits of the show here. My Daniel Study Guide is now out. You can get that for Christmas if you'd like, for somebody, your preacher, or yourself if you don't have it yet. And she's got that up on the screen. This is going to be like no other Daniel Study Guide that you've ever read. This is going to be very interesting. And then, of course, my prophecy puzzle book, the most important book that I've written, has been out for a couple of months now. If you don't have that yet, you need to get that. And all right, we'll shut her down here. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep your eyes on the sky.